Come on, man. Why
And
not?
he takes it out of the cage, and while he does that, he sort of affectionately pets the side of the saber-toothed face, kind of establishing that the saber-tooth will not at all attack him or anything. It hands the bread back to one kind of confidently again, and moves back away toward a nearby little campfire that he set up, a personal one for himself, and in front of the cart, and kind of ignores you guys and kind of just doesn't say anything more in response to your questions.
So I asked the group, are we gonna just ignore this guy and his child tiger?
I mean,
I'm assuming that's pretty funny. Yeah.
It sounded like it was the kid's fault for getting into the cage, which I say.
Oh, well, I didn't know that was the case. So he's a good tiger then?
I wouldn't say good, but he's not actively hostile against anyone.
It's an animal.
Yep, that's accurate.
It's a tiger, right?
It's doing what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tigers things.
Well,
it's not committing murder. It's doing what nature tells it to do.
Yeah, but you know, the guy who willingly brings a dangerous animal in a city is horribly.
I mean, that's the same
people.
as any
Maybe.
other zoo with a dangerous animal. It's locked up.
Ask him if he's got any cool shows coming up.
No, it's like
Yeah, do you have any cool shows? I mean, could you give us a little taste?
Ask him if the monkey does a little dance.
Oh, definitely. Does the monkey dance?
Yeah, it's funny. In hearing the word monkey, the monkey on his shoulder looks at you, and then crosses his arms over its chest, looking kind of disappointed, and upturns his head kind of cutely, like because it's like it sort of registered that it's heard that question before, and it's gotten like a typical response from its master again and again and again and again. It's like that annoyed.
speak monkey
And
now?
Victoria, yeah, actually, you do. You still speak animals for 10 minutes. You have I'm going to say, you got 5 minutes left of Bior speech, and your 10 minutes, you only spent 30 seconds of animal speech.
Okay.
He didn't know. He did not answer the question to either of you. Actually, he's always going to say is, I haven't done any performances in a while.
Yeah, what happened to your business? I think you only got one wagon here or something, yes? One.
He does not in response to that question, that statement. And he says, yes, not all of my creatures have survived.
Oh,
the journey.
Oh my god, you don't have the animals fight each other, do you?
If he actually requests that, he says, he looks at you perplexed, it's like, no.
Oh, thank goodness for that. That's just terrible.
He says, I'm not a monster. He kind of inflects it weird like that.
Glad we can agree on that, but
because that would be an explanation for the armored
animals
and whatnot. But go on. Sorry, I interrupted, but go on.
In response to Darius's question, he sighs. He's like kind of irritated by all these questions and inquiries because he already got the 3rd degree and then some from the local constabulary. And he says, like I said, some local upstarts got involved in matters they shouldn't have. They stuck their head, perhaps quite literally, into the mouth of my tiger friend there.
Say, listen, we're from the IRS. You have to answer all our questions.
Funny.
Wait, so when he says upstart, what do you mean by upstart? There?
Also, did they kill all your other animals? You didn't really answer the question.
He kind of gives Darius a sort of nod of affirmation. They did. And then to Lucian, wait, Was it Lucian that you asked something?
Yeah.
My brain
yeah.
just went. What was it?
I was just wondering, like, when he says upstarts, is
Right,
it
right.
like they're trying to rebel against him or something?
He said he had gestures to again all of Barovia with a big sweep of his arm. Again, this one's a bit more quick and frustrated, and like kind of violent in a way. And he says, "The locals." If anybody want to do an insight check, because I can finally answer the question, get to the answer rather.
Yeah.
All right. Any more?
Bullshit.
Yeah. I can't put my finger on it, but this guy seems fishy.
He does seem-
Fucking
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna say with some combined head work in general, the Bjork, Darius, and one sort of realize he's referring to maybe the monsters of this general area, like maybe the local supernatural entities and stuff. He's not necessarily referring to the people of the town specifically. He's not referring to children. Like, literally. He's not being literal.
Oh, so he fights monsters.
I can't say yes, but
I
if you ask him that, it's like, yeah.
So you fight monsters.
He says he actually just stands up from his position at the campfire and drops a little log that he was holding on to, like a little piece of kindling, drops it in, big sparks come up, he turns around and looks at you and says, when I can, and that's all he says. And he goes back, walks past all of you, and goes to a chest area in the front end of his cart that he would be sitting on if he were to be driving it, and takes out some more material for his pipe. And then he asks all of you,
he's casting a spell in his pipe, isn't he?
He then asks all of you, could you please, I mean, no, he doesn't use any sort of magic, he just pulled out a match.
That would be good though.
That would be funny. Then he asks if you could all leave him. He is frustrated with this conversation. I've already spoken to the guards about this already, and I would like to be left with my own thoughts.
Wait, but you should come with us and help us fight more monsters.
Is he part of the riddle?
That's
No,
funny.
But he has
I like your
tiger.
He gives Lucian a smile again, one of amusement again, not as much as frustration, because he's like admiring your gusto, your what is the word, persistence, and says, "I tell you what, kid, if you can find me a target worth killing, I may help you take it down.
Strahd.
Otherwise,
we all say Strahd.
If you say Strahd, he's like, yes, and he kind of waves a finger and says, that one may be beyond my abilities, though I would greatly enjoy taking down that monster, that beast. He got a look of genuine, like, antagonism when he mentions Strahd. He does not like him at all.
Well,
what about some old god in a mine shaft?
He kind of tilts his head aside. He's actually a pretty smart fellow, kind of quick on his wits, and he's like, thinking about that for a moment, recognizing it as sort of cryptic and almost as a riddle on his face. And he says, where did you hear that? He's sort of curious.
I look at and Bior, since they were the ones who were actually.
Yeah, you actually weren't in it. But, I mean, you would know that they did hear it at the little camp, the Vistani camp, but you weren't there in the actual tent when she said it.
Something about future fortune telling. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we told everyone in the.
Yeah, you did. It's just that he wouldn't. He wasn't actually. Yeah, he wouldn't remember it the same way. He wasn't in the room. But yeah, that's perfectly fine. He says, "Fortune telling from whom?"
Madame Zeroni.
Yeah, her name. Yeah, you just say her name, it's just fine. Actually, it would be kind of funny. Do an intel check. Let me see if you remember. Because then I'm going to say you have to come up with a name.
You said intelligence?
Yeah. Okay, so... everybody's rolling shit. Yeah, neither one nor Lucian remember her name. So you have to give him a made-up name. And you could call her Madame Zeroni. And
yeah, Madam.
He's like, Zeroni? Okay. I've not heard of her.
She has a big caravan?
Yeah, caravan?
She was with,
and then he starts nodding, and then let me look at the map really quick, or let me look at her actual name, because he would know it.
She was with a bunch of bandits. She had some giant horses with her.
Yeah.
We have one of those.
Yeah, we're just gonna go to Village, the Sarah Pool encampment, and then her, Madame Ava, right. And then he says, Madame Ava, yes, that makes more sense. She is a very old yet wise woman. You are not as incompetent as you all look. Perhaps we could work together.
Well, you can certainly stay here for a time, but eventually we will be going out after Strahd, and you'll be happy to join us for the final battle if you're willing.
Perhaps. I may want to see your skills in battle first before I join alongside you. If I cannot defeat Strahd myself, I'm not going to throw myself to the wolves. He chuckles, kind of making a pun. Themselves.
I mean, there's a giant tiger there. Do you want us to fight that, or do you want some other form of proof of our abilities?
He kind of again has wide eyes and kind of surprised, like, my tiger? No, it's mine. It's like, but when you learn of anything nearby, you may come see me, and we'll see about working together to take it down.
Okay.
I want to test your abilities in more ways than just combat.
I mean, speaking of testing our abilities, do you happen to know anything about this underground fighting arena? You know.
He just shakes his head quickly and sincerely and says, "No, I don't know of anything about that. It wouldn't be of interest to him."
Damn, worth a shot.
That leads me to remembering something. I look at all the people church and I say, didn't the head priest say that the nobles of the town were looking for someone to problem? Is that something we're supposed to help them with?
Believe he may have said that. Not 100% sure, but let's go with that assumption.
I thought that's what they said. That's what you said he said.
Yeah, let's operate with that assumption, yeah.
So, did we get his name? I forget.
Yeah, you know it. Well, you didn't say it, but you could very reasonably assume that this is Rictavio, as mentioned on the wagon, where it says his name on it.
Yeah, that's my brother. You're not meant to mention him in conversation. It tears him up. Rictavio.
Hmm. Yeah, and then he turns back. He actually kind of winces a bit because he had gone back toward the wagon and gotten more material for his pipe and lit it and puffed from it. And then he sort of winces momentarily, reaches down and grabs his thigh and kind of growls a little bit to himself before quickly grabbing a cane that was sitting on top of the. I didn't really mention it, but there's a cane sitting on top of the chest that I mentioned earlier, and then uses it to stand up straighter and sighs and it's not satisfaction, but in relief. Yeah, Bior said, ask if he has any leads on some werewolves. So he would direct that at 1. It's up to you if you actually want to.
I mean, has the spell worn off by now? Or?
No, it's not been 10 minutes yet.
Okay.
Well, 5. It's almost up. You have about a minute left of your time.
Okay, I could ask the question just in time then.
Yeah. Okay. Werewolves. I have to look at that as the DM. Give me a second, just to see if he would. Because I have to look into the werewolves and him and all that. I'm gonna say, before I actually look into it, because it will take time to do so, I'm gonna say, of course I know of the attacks. I have been looking into them myself. They are as foul creatures as anyone else, or any others, I should say. But I like the
oh shit!
The guards nearby. That's fine. The guards nearby, I don't know exactly where they are, though I have my assumptions. He just kind of keeps them to himself, and he returns back to the camp and slowly lowers himself down. And it's more pained, and this time he's a bit slower. Anyway, you ever seen House? He's very moving around like that, a very similar way.
Right. I'll say, well, once I get more information on the location of wolves, I'll be back. So we hunting.
He just nods. He's not looking at you guys, but he does nod, and you can tell all the same that he recognized what you heard, what you said.
I mean, alternatively, we could bring proof that we killed the werewolves, like their furs and teeth or something, like their head, maybe.
You said if you, as in like he's talking about all of you, can do that, then I do believe we could work together. Though
Nice.
I do recommend caution.
I think we should bring him along with to help.
You good at persuading him, but I mean,
I really
you
assumed he
can
was
try.
just going to watch, but yeah, if you want to persuade him, sure, go ahead.
yeah, he's
Not
shown a
right.
lot of reluctance so far in working with you guys, but he's like testing you.
Yeah. Okay.
If you find out where the werewolves are specifically, he may help you with some persuasion. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do it yourselves, and then that will be sufficient.
No, I don't think that's going to be enough.
Well, okay. I'm this guy.
I was
Okay, remember that there's a general store nearby, so this is part of the reason why you came here. There are some little market stalls and such.
I mean, do you
Oh,
want to
do
go
you guys
to
wanna
Cole
buy
for a
first?
second? I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure, Cole. Sure. Let's say, I'll do some more roleplay. I mean, I would love to do that. The priest comes up to you, Cole, and says, how have you been faring in these lands? These are very dangerous and ruthless. I imagine you've already seen some terrible things.
I have. It is not like home. This is a completely different place. It's just a feeling. It's just a dread.
He nods softly in response to that, knowing full well what you refer to. He has a tough job being a man of Lathander, almost said God, in an area so bleak and death-ridden and just not very holy at all. He says, I understand. We've lost many here, and it's a difficult place to live. But this is where my Lord called me to. So this is where I serve. And he looks like over his shoulder at like the shrine, and that's all. He doesn't really like have an expression on his face other than maybe like a serious look. He looks back at you and just says, he kind of gets back up, not wanting to really bother you, not wanting to oppose, and says, is there anything I can help you with? I see that you are mixing something up there. Do you perhaps need any more supplies or any help?
I'm gonna start like looking through like all the containers and like open up the bags and like take some corks off of things. And I'm gonna start like inventorying stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say, well, my kit is getting pretty low.
I think I might have some things in the back, and I'd be willing to sell them to you at a very fair price. I can't, unfortunately, give them away, given that we need them ourselves for various things. But just let me know. And also, one of our... Okay, I'm going to call them... I don't know if I would call them a nun. One of our younger... worshippers. Acolytes, thank you. That's a great word. One of our acolytes, young acolytes, knows some of alchemy as well. She could help you if you'd like.
If she is willing to make any alchemical things, maybe, I'm not really sure what'll help us out. Maybe some vials of fire or acid.
He says, well, she typically helps with the making of holy water or healing potions. Nothing so aggressive. He doesn't touch you. He just kind of looks away. But would that be of any help to you? I mean, we're low on supplies for holy water, given your friend, but we need to start making some more anyway. Are you making healing potions yourself?
Yes, I'm in the process of making one right now.
Okay. He nods again and he says, okay then, I'll tell you what, I'll go in the back and grab the supplies and see if you need anything more, and I'll have her come over here and help you make more quickly.
Just have a vision of Cole like stirring a potion right in front of him. It's like, duh. It's like, all right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know what it's actually like, the ingredients of, or what he's specifically making. But yeah,
No,
Yeah.
just for comedy's sake, that's what I'm mentioning.
yeah. He kind of gets up and looks to you and asks, "Does that sound good?"
Sure.
Swell.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
make more
Yeah. I
classic.
can always use help.
Okay. So what he does is he goes in the back and he comes back with a box full of miscellaneous herbs of all different kinds. You recognize many of them. So you can pay, I think it's 50 gold per bunch. I don't remember exactly the price, but let's just say he gives you a discount. If you can tell me the amount that you pay for the ingredients, and like typically, I'll give you a discount. Then the a girl, maybe 14 or 15, comes over and smiles at you, kneels down, doesn't really say anything, but kind of grabs some of the supplies herself and already begins working. She's very shy, but seems knowledgeable in her own right. she's a human. Everybody here is human. You haven't really noticed any of you in general. I've not noticed non-humans living here in any significant amounts at all. I'm gonna say not at all until I say otherwise.
All right.
You want to buy any?
as-
ingredients?
Actually, to go back a little bit, like as
Okay.
the priest like walked off,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like change my facial expression, like to kind of look kind of like confused or maybe torn, like I'm lost in my thoughts, and I start to think about the time out in the wilderness where there was this hanging man, and then when I got a closer look, it was actually me,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of torn, like whether I should bring this up and like talk with him about it, or like whether I should like still like keep it inside and kind of figure out like what was actually happening to me.
That makes
And-
sense. It's something he may know about.
And then like as I hear him like come back, like I start to like hear the footsteps, I kind of like I shake my head and I like shh. I kind of like empty out my mind and I just continue like making the potion.
Makes sense. So yeah, everything else goes as it does. You let me know if you want to buy any ingredients. Effectively, right now, you are making healing potions like twice as fast. So when you finish your current healing potion, you'll have 2 rather than 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to like herbalism kits, there isn't like any uses and there isn't any ingredients. I just pay gold, take the time, and it's done.
Right. I was just saying
So-
you could spend less gold if you
Yeah.
want.
Okay.
So however much it takes to make one, you can add a little bit of money back if you like.
Yeah, it's a 25 gold
We
per.
assume
Okay,
like,
so since you're making 2, let's say you're making both of these for, rather than normally it'd be 50, you're making them both for 35. So you only have to spend 10 more gold to get another potion, because I imagine you already spent the 25.
I'm not sure if I did.
Well, 35 gold for 2 rather than 50.
Okay.
And what did you say, Marcel? You were very quiet when you were speaking. I think he went AFK. All right.
He probably said he'll be right back or something, maybe.
That's very likely what he said. Yeah. Okay. So we're at another point of what do you want guys to do? Where Cole's still at the church doing potions. The 4 of you are kind of sort of leaving the. Actually, no, you didn't do this
Yeah.
shop yet.
Looked around.
General store in the stockyard. I don't think there's anybody named. No, nobody of that much importance. We're just basic shopkeepers. But one of the shops is like a kind of clothing store,
Ooh.
and out front of it is one of their more premier items that they want to bring in customers with. It's a nice cloak.
A
A
nice,
really nice cloak.
Yes, wink, wink, wink,
Magic.
wink, wink.
A magical cloak.
Swag.
Yeah, the one you guys rolled for earlier. Yeah,
Oh,
that 30 something. I think it was like a 34.
that
Yeah.
wasn't for the lightning.
Yeah, 42 is the javelin of lightning. 34 is for this. It's a cloak of some kind.
So,
Inquire about
that's
it.
a fancy cloak you've got there. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
This is a woman. She's kind of leans over and smiles at you all. I'm gonna say it's like an older woman, not old, but probably
50.
by our real life standards, probably about like mid 40s. So slight aging,
Not
nothing too dramatic.
oldish.
Yeah, I'm just saying that in this universe, we would actually be somewhat older. Life expectancy here is not amazing. She leans forward and looks at the cloak and nods with pride and says, yes, one of my greatest works. And she kind of brings out her hand and kind of moves it closer to your eyes and makes note of its like lining along its edges. It's like silken. It's this deep green color. She says, I learned to make this from my grandmother, a half elf. She herself looks like a human. You don't have to see any elf in her.
So
it's
you're
kinda
quarter
diluted.
elf? Wow.
Yeah, she's very slightly half elf in a way, like loosely in a way. It says it wraps around the body quite well to keep one hidden. It might be of good value to any of you adventurers sorts. She kind of measures you up and kind of can outright see that you're not from around here and look capable. I've made some already for the some specific guards here, some of the more wealthy ones. But this one here is for sale if you'd like it.
How much are you selling?
God, you guys are lucky. 200 gold.
That's pretty good.
And yeah, as far as out of character, just to give you guys an idea of what it is, it's a cloak of Elvenkind. I think that was obvious, but I just want to make sure.
Right. I would
What is that?
assume like
You can look up in the compendium, I think. Do
See that magic.
you mind speaking up a bit more, Marcel? You kind of get quiet sometimes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep. You're
All right.
definitely better.
Still being cautious about the hot miking. I was just saying I would assume, if they're talking shop and she's saying 200 gold, Darius would have cast a ritual cast detect magic, and see. Whoa, that's a magic cloak.
Yep. Yeah, it is totally a magic cloak. Let me copy paste this.
Is there anything?
This is what a cloak of Elvenkind does. It's good for sneaky. What'd you say, Lucian? Oh, you want to work down persuasion checks? Yeah, that's anyone want to haggle?
It's like, I don't know. It's a pretty nice cloak, but I think I've seen better in the other stores. Persuasion.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just.
She
I
took
just
that as an
insulted
insult.
her. After
Yeah. She kind of says, "I don't like you very much," and kind of looks at Lucian a bit more respectfully. It says, "For you and only you." It makes a point of it. I'll come down to 180.
180.
Yes.
Okay. So I look at every else. I have 50. If anyone wants to lend.
like I said, I've
How
already
much
typed.
do you need?
Yeah, I don't know how much gold you guys have amongst all of you to be able to afford a 180 gold cloak.
I've already typed my amount. I don't know if you.
Yeah. So 53. That's how much you could contribute.
So how will we do? Will we share this cloak? I guess.
I mean,
Or-
That's 100% you guys.
we will
I mean,
all wear it at the
honestly,
same
this
time.
just-
We will
this
shred it
just
into
Yeah, you
three
could operate
bits.
it alone.
Most effective on and put it on them.
Yeah.
Who's the scoutish person? That's one, right?
I
Um,
have proficiency and maybe expertise in stealth, but I also have heavy
Yeah.
armor. So
I
this
would-
could balance
yeah.
out my disadvantage.
I think I could probably wear it. I can
Yeah. What kind of armor are you wearing, Lucian?
I I have light.
But more
the
specifically,
studded-
that does matter.
studded- The studded.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty decent at stealth. I think it only has a -1, maybe. I don't
It
even
has
know.
no
Like, different game
minuses.
changes. Yeah, different game. Pathfinder is worse or different in that way. It more punitive. Yeah, that's would be fine. You'd be able to sneak in at 1. You'd have a problem with your heavier armor.
Okay, so if I could
Um,
use 30 of your gold one to
Uh,
get this cloak.
So that's 80. Yeah, do you have enough to be able to buy yourself outright with just the 30?
No. Well, yeah, with his 30, yeah, I have 152.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah,
I
if you
will-
wanted to spend it, then yeah.
I will minus 30, then you can have it. But with
Yeah.
the agreement, it goes to me if you die.
That's a
Alright.
very reasonable one. I like that a lot.
But now you're motivated to kill him.
I know.
Yeah.
You
And
didn't
it's,
see
I don't know if
me.
you hit. The
Somehow
woman
I'm
kind of
not healing
grimaces
you.
to that.
How did that work?
Yeah, that'd be really funny. The woman kind of sneers that it could ever go to you because she doesn't like that you kind of sense that her cloak is bad in any way. But she sighs and hands it over because he already agreed with Lucian as far as the price. So yeah, go ahead and add a cloak of Elvenkind to your inventory, Lucian.
Great.
Deduct your gold as necessary.
Yeah, I have no.
Yeah, you have like 2 gold.
Oh, yeah, I could.
Alright, any other shopping to be done in this general store area?
Nope, I'm broke. We can go.
Nope.
We
Okay,
all gonna meet
Bjorn?
up in the mayor's house or the guardhouse now? Or-
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh. Can we still? Are we still talking to the nobles about the werewolves, or
Yeah.
is that?
I mean, you can. I mean, that's a possibility. You haven't gone there yet. There's a lot of places you still haven't gone to yet.
I mean,
Okay.
general mission statement. Do we still want to pursue like the leads we've been going under, or do you guys want to investigate this werewolfish?
I mean, I have a pretty vested interest personally in werewolves because
Alright.
what happened in my past. I
Okay.
understand. Not everyone else does.
No, I mean
I'm
werewolves
happy.
are bad.
And-
news,
There's
right?
money involved.
And we can get this guy
What's
to
a
believe we're
werewolf
good
actually
fighters
in
too.
D&D?
So
Yeah. We can also recruit this guy.
yeah,
Also.
Rickion.
Yeah.
You got all these silver bullets, right?
Yeah, he bought silver bullets. We got a silver great axe. You have that magic longsword. Yeah, pretty powerful.
Rictio.
And when you come back here, you could try to get that lightning javelin. If we got any.
I mean, truth be told, I think these people would thank us if we got rid of a weapon.
Oh yeah, if you guys were, if you guys got rid of the werewolves, you'd be pretty much praised as local heroes.
So I say we head towards the richest looking place.
All right,
Yes.
give me a moment to determine what that would be.
I guess can we?
Wait,
ask
what?
her-
Okay,
so
what do we actually have for leads on hunting werewolves? Just
Um,
know they're around here, right?
yeah, you only know that they're in the local area. They've attacked the walls. They attacked 2 nights ago.
Guard.
Actually, if he rested, it would be it's still 2 nights ago. He arrived in the morning here. Well, let me do some time in my head. You guys got to the Bone Grinder in the morning. You long rested. It had been evening. You got here. You did your stuff with the guards. You went to the church. You slept again morning. So yeah, it would have been 3 nights ago. There was a
Should we
werewolf
just
attack.
get
Well, they blew up the
outside
guard.
with like raw steaks taped to our bodies.
I mean, we got a man made of steak right
Like, we
here.
work, but that's dangerous. I was gonna say that.
We got a
I
man-
mean, just spitballing here.
It would
Yeah,
probably
that's-
work, but
We could try to bait him, but I think we should ask around.
yeah, I think it would be more
yeah, that's the
intelligent.
question. Do we want to investigate more, or basically
Yeah.
try to like a little more sophisticated than that? Try to bait them.
All right, I'm gonna do some descriptions as you guys like walk around. I'm gonna say you're just looking around in general. Move the group. All the.
No, I'm gonna go to the tavern. Yeah, I'm just like, all right. Well, let me know when we're
The
getting contract
tavern.
for some money. I'm
Let me-
gonna
Let me find
go
that.
pick a fight with someone.
The spell has ended by now. I have no idea what you're saying.
Blue Water Inn. Okay. You're here. You found the inn. I'll get to you in a moment. I want to get everybody situated before I do run through everybody. Okay, the rest of you, the three of you, one, Lucian and Darius, as you're walking along, actually, as you were leaving the area of the stall area, you see down here.
Tiger.
There, no, that would be funny. You see a store. Is it labeled? Does it have like a? Let me look.
I mean, it would be
Oh,
a horse store
I
if it's
misread
not
that.
labelled.
I misread it as far as does it have a? No, it does not have a sign in front of it, but it is a business. Given its location and appearance, like size, it's too small to be a residence unless the person is very tall. It's kind of ominous looking. I'm going to kind of position you there if you care for now. You don't have to go inside it. It's this building right here. It looks kind of, you kind of get a similar vibe to the haunted house. Oh, okay, you can do another ritual comprehend languages if you want.
Okay.
What? Oh, yeah, and it works for all languages. Let's say on all the things your speak of the animals wore off though.
Okay.
Go ahead, Marcel.
Can we like peek in the window?
It's all closed up. I mean, if you want to,
Oh.
you can't open a shutter or anything from the side.
Yes.
Uh,
No, staying
we-
clear of that one.
Yeah,
Can we
I'm
tap
gonna
on the
get
door?
to my pet rat out and have him scout. Do you want to have your animal do as well?
Oh yeah, right. By the way, did he manage to fetch you earlier?
By the way,
I thought your imp is with Cole.
Oh right. I'm
But
sorry.
it is a familiar. You can resummon. You can actually. You can tell it to come back like mentally. You could say, "Hey, I need you back here."
I can actually pop him and resummon him next to me.
Yeah,
So it just snaps his
Yeah.
fingers.
yeah.
Snaps
So
him
he's
again.
back. You got this little imp guy back. Yeah, you got your. You guys got
let's
your.
just
Got a.
send
rat
the
here.
expendable forces in first.
I want to see if he. I'm gonna do.
He's
Expendable's too big of a word. Never mind. Yeah, he wouldn't know that word. He wouldn't recognize that word. I was gonna say it'd be cute if he like recognized the word expendable, but he just smiles up at you like a good boy.
nonetheless, I cover my
Um,
pet rat's mouse, my pet mouse's ears, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
get
this
such
is a tall, skinny, two-story building with closed shutters. I'm gonna read this very quickly. This uninviting shop is 2 stories tall and has a sign shaped like a coffin above the front door. All of the window shutters are closed up tight, and a deathly silence surrounds the establishment.
Must have been a bakery. I say with a coffin. Obvious.
It's just Gremlin goes up to the front door and knocks.
Yeah, its strength isn't really loud enough to make a loud noise. You don't hear a response. Nothing of any
I
kind.
say, you need a
Gremlin
person to do this. And then I
Tries
just,
to open the door.
Is there?
Let's say
Stop
Lucian
me
gets
if
there
you think we
first.
should just stay.
Yeah, let's say
clear.
Lucian knocks first before Darius goes.
Okay.
like,
Oh,
reaches
you
the door.
were at
yeah,
the door. Yeah,
I'm
you.
gonna-
Yeah, you lock it loud enough easily that you hear some rough rummaging from the other side, some movement. And then, sniffles. The door opens and a guy comes out. Got another hand out. Players journals, all players save. Alright. So that goes to everybody. This guy is a carpenter.
I did not see the handout.
Sure, he is.
Oh, there it is. I think I see it.
Yeah, it's Henrik. The carpenter comes out. He looks kind of sullen and serious. Like that expression on his face is accurate. It's kind of. He looks sort of distant and dejected. He looks all over you and he says, "How may I help any of you?"
Can you make worse stuff?
Honestly, I just came here because your house looked really spooky.
It did.
Okay. In order, he says, "I am a carpenter, yes, but you would be better suited seeing the stable for your needs." And then he kind of just gives Darius a soft smile. It kind of makes you feel really uncomfortable. Like, it's a really unpleasant
Cool.
smile.
Does he say anything?
No.
So, buried any good people lately?
And then he chuckles and he says, a smile from Darius widens as he looks to one, and it's pretty unsettling, like really creepy. Makes your skin crawl, you get goosebumps, and he says, "Yes, business has been good lately."
I bet. Yes.
Business. I thought you were a carpenter. What does that have to do with burying people?
I mean, this,
Making
I
coffins.
make coffins. Yes.
Oh, I didn't-
Yeah. He's a carpenter, but he doesn't specialize in
Oh,
general things. He's specifically a coffin maker.
this guy's really.
Yeah, he's unsettling.
I ask him, "Do we need to check your house for any weird dead bodies? Are you murdering people?"
Do you actually say any of that?
I mean, yeah. He's creeping me out.
Yeah, okay. He said, "Oh man, why did he respond to that? That's just an abrupt question. Like, how did anybody in reality respond to that? Like, what the fuck?"
you
tell
would
him
just
to get
close
the
the
fuck
door
out.
slowly, I guess.
Yeah, he's a bit more fascinated with death than that. So he's like, he says that would make for a pleasant story, but no, I've not killed anyone.
Ah,
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Or he says it differently. He says, "I have, I'm not responsible for the deaths that befall this."
do you want to join us to fight Strahd by any chance?
He shakes his head and is like, he says, "No, Strahd has been good for my business. Taking down adventurers
Well,
like you.
That's
It
good.
wouldn't be in my
fucked
own
up.
interest to help you."
But just imagine how many more people will die once we start to attack him. Come on, you have to come with us.
People don't tend to bury the. Wow, you rolled really well. All the same, let's just say he laughs. The DC would have been retardedly high. So all he does is chuckle, quite amused with your persistence.
Yeah, guys, I think
says,
he's like the one citizen in Barovia who actually likes Strahd.
Yeah, he's one of the very few. He likes Strahd. And he says, "That's amusing, child. But you see, vampires and werewolves and their ilk don't tend to be buried in coffins."
What do you know about werewolves? How might we kill one?
I look at one and pull out my sword, and I say, "You take the pointy end, you stick it."
Your friend seems
yeah,
to
you're
have
a
the right
monster
idea,
hunter,
and he backs away from the door and starts to close it. And he says, "Yeah, your friend here has the right idea." He's kind of grown from the tired of the conversation.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. To the,
Does anybody ever say anything else?
Nope. Like, bye.
to the
Okay.
tavern it
Then
is.
he says, all he says is, "Come see me when you have any need of my specific services."
Yeah, we'll
And then the
get you
door
more
closes.
work soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a
I
pretty.
mean, do we get a
loud
commission?
shut, and then you hear a lock. You don't hear any answer to any
Commission.
question.
Oh, you already closed the door.
Yeah, the door's closed. You hear a padlock. It's pretty. Yeah, gone. You hear some walking away and then nothing. All right. let's
Really
say-
spooky house, though. Did you guys get that?
Yeah,
It was really spooky.
I guess.
Alright.
I guess he just wants to live inside a Halloween house. I guess.
We're moving back to the inn with Bjor after all these people. So I apologize if anybody feels left out. Let me know if you ever want to say anything. Alright, Bjor, you head to the Blue Water Inn. Gray smoke issues from the chimney of this large 2-story wooden building with a stone foundation and a sagging tile roof, upon which several ravens have perched. A painted wooden sign hanging above the main entrance depicts a blue waterfall. And then for my own flavor, one of the ravens flies down from its original position, sits on the sign, and stares at you. You lock eyes with it as you're kind of giving the place a once over, and then it caws and flies off. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can eventually. Right now, you're not in the same area.
Should we just
Yeah,
assume
you're
we
currently
let
talking
it,
to the carpenter.
Yeah.
Bust some peasants about werewolves. To
Yeah.
just get in their face and hey, what do you know
Yeah.
about,
How about
these
we-
werewolves? Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the town square questioning people. That would make sense. It's just to the west. And then, yeah, Bjor's at the end. Cole's still doing his thing. So, yeah. I imagine you go inside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go inside.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming it's somewhere in the tavern, or people in the tavern know about it. And realizing that I don't speak common, I'm just going to survey the tavern and see if I can find the largest, gruff-looking guy drinking there.
Okay. When you head inside, I give a handout called Martikov Family. Is the name of the handout. When you go inside, you see some nearby locals, some just random locals. You see the innkeeper, the man in that photo with the big beard and everything, sitting in front of the bar, acting as the bartender and innkeeper. I'm gonna say one of his children